Hi, my name is Teresa Funke, and I'm an author, presenter, and a writer's coach. And I'm back to give you some advice on how to move your career forward. I'd like to talk a little bit first about the difference between a hobby writer and a professional writer. If you are writing mainly for your own enjoyment or for the benefit of your family, and you want to take your writing to a certain level, I support that. In fact, I encourage you to do so. But that means you're probably more towards the hobby writer. If, however, you are interested in getting your books published and having a career in writing, there are a few things you can do to help yourself move forward. I call those things my 3 P's for writing. The first P is practice. Now, writing is a craft, which means you're going to have to spend some time learning the elements of good writing. If you were born with talent and you have good luck, that'll take you halfway to where you need to be as an author, but not the whole way. The rest of the way is achieved through practice. Lots and lots of time spent writing and trying different types of writing until you find what works for you. Remember that it takes quite a while to become a writer. It's not learned quickly, and especially to develop that elusive voice. But once you've developed your voice, you'll notice your writing take a leap forward. Now, the next thing you can do to help with your writing is to read like a writer. What I mean by that is to learn to analyze as you're reading so that you can see what you like and don't like about a book. So I would challenge you for the next year. If you're reading a book that you do not like, don't put it down. When you get halfway through the book, stop and figure out what's not working for you. What is it about the book that you don't like? Something about the plot, or the characters, or the pacing? And then look back at your own writing and make sure you're not doing the same thing. The next thing I would like to remind you to do is to always keep learning. I've been writing for over 20 years, and I still attend writers' conferences, go to seminars, listen to other authors read their work, and I come to places like Children's Book Insider to stay up on the industry news. You're never going to stop learning as a writer, and so embrace that process. The last thing I would recommend is that you find a trusted reader or a writer's coach or a writer's group, somebody that's going to encourage you, but also push you to improve your writing and to show you the places where you actually can improve. Find those trusted readers and rely on them. The second P is patience. Be patient with yourself as you're learning to become a writer. I'm constantly amazed how quickly people think they're going to pick up on the skill of writing. They'll come to me and they'll say, you know, I think I'm a pretty good writer. I've always been told since I was a kid that I was. I would like to try to have my draft done by Christmas. And I say, Christmas? Really? Would you sign up for music lessons and expect to be playing Beethoven by Christmas? Would you sign up for golf lessons and sign up for the tournament on the same day? No, you would know that it would take some time to develop as a writer. So be patient with yourself as you develop as a writer. Be patient with your ideas, because it takes them time to form. Now, sometimes we wake up in the middle of the night with a brilliant idea, and we think it's just going to write itself. And then as we start to work on it, it falters or fails somewhere in the middle. That doesn't mean it was a bad idea. It may just need more development, or it may need to rest for a while. Don't give up on your good ideas. Be patient with them. Now, also be patient with your characters as they reveal themselves to you. Notice how I phrased that. Sometimes we try to push our characters to do what we want them to do. And not until we listen to them, until we turn the story over to them and say, tell me your story, do our characters begin to cooperate with us. So be patient as they reveal themselves to you. The next thing is to be patient with your book's structure, because it may change and grow and evolve several times while you're working on it. My second book, Dancing in Combat Boots, started out as an oral history collection, and along the way I decided to turn it into a short story collection, which required 2 years of rewrites, but it was the best decision for the book. Be patient with the busy editors and agents that you will encounter through your career. As you know, the publishing industry is going through a lot of changes, and in some ways things seem faster than they did before. An ebook, for example, can go up in a matter of days. But publishers and agents are busier than they have ever been. There have been a lot of changes in the publishing houses, consolidations and layoffs that have led to people working harder than they ever have before. So be patient when it takes them a while to respond to you. They will respond. And lastly, be patient with your career as it develops. A lot of authors think that once their first book comes out, they're immediately going to land on success. But it takes longer than that. For many authors, it's not till their second, third, or fourth book until they've developed an audience strong enough to support their career. John Grisham himself didn't quit his day job until his fourth book came out. So remember to be patient as you develop as a writer. Your time will come. Just hang in there. Now the last P is persistence. You're going to have to be very strong to make it in this field because there's a lot of ups and downs. But if you can remain persistent, you'll get where you need to go. Remember all those crazy stories you've heard about an author who happens to be sitting next to an editor on an airplane and gets her book picked up? Or the author who had a little-known book who was discovered by Oprah? Well, the reason we've heard those stories is because they're just that, great stories, very unusual. For most of us, it's going to take a lot more work and a lot more persistence to get where we're going. So don't give up too soon on any of your projects, and definitely don't give up too soon on your career. It hurts me more than anything to see really good writers giving up on a project before they should. Oftentimes it comes down to a feeling of rejection, a feeling that people are not responding to their work, therefore it must not be very good. But I have a saying for that, and it's called, rejection is progress. So put that on your computer and remember it. Rejection is progress. Now, any salesperson will tell you it's going to take 100 sales calls before you land that first sale. So every rejection you get in the publishing industry is actually taking you one step closer to that acceptance. The more rejections, the closer you are to that acceptance. So don't let the rejections get you down. Hang in there and remember that you're in good company. J.K. Rowling's first Harry Potter book was rejected 9 times. The Princess Diaries were rejected 17 times. And A Wrinkle in Time was rejected 26 times. So a lot of times I'll have writers come up to me and say, I don't think my project's very good. It's been turned down 3 or 4 times. And I'll say, come back to me when you have 20 more, and then we'll talk about what's not working. And my last comment is this. While you're working on your career, while you're practicing and waiting and being patient, don't stop writing. I see a lot of authors stop as soon as they finish a project, and they wait, biting their fingernails, for an agent or editor to call them. Then they wait to see their book in print, and then they wait for their marketing efforts to start taking off, and they assume this is when they're going to become famous and launch that big career. What you want to do is keep writing. The minute you finish one project, start another one. And there's 2 reasons for that. Because the industry is going to have one of 2 responses to your work. They're either going to take it, in which case they're going to say, what else do you have for us? And you want to be able to tell them about the project you're working on. Or they're going to turn it down, in which case you want to be halfway through another project that you can start proposing. But remember, even if they turn it down, it doesn't mean that first project will never see the light of day. It may be the wrong timing. It may be that you haven't developed the skills that you need yet to fulfill that project. But its time may come. So I want you to enjoy the process of growing as a writer. And I know it gets frustrating and it gets confusing. And that's why you need that support system to keep you going. Because even if it takes a few years, you're going to make it and you're going to get to see your books in print. Thank you.